I, female, 27, have to spend Christmas with my family for the first time since escaping my abusive ex, and I'm having a complete meltdown about it. Throwaway, because some of my family know my main account. I've been dreading Christmas for weeks now, like literally waking up in the middle of the night with my heart racing, kind of dreading. It's the first time I'll be going back home for the holidays since I moved away almost exactly 2 years ago, after finally getting out of my relationship with my ex Trevor, male 29. Some background, I guess. I dated Trevor for almost 4 years, starting right after I graduated college when I was 21. At first, everything seemed perfect, like he was this amazing catch that my whole family loved. My mom would literally call him the son she never had, even though she has two actual sons, lol. He was really charming and would do thoughtful things like remember random details about my day or surprise me with little gifts. But looking back now, I can see how he was setting everything up from the beginning. The jealousy that seemed like he just cared about me so much. The constructive criticism that was supposedly to help me be my best self. The way he slowly convinced me that my friends were actually toxic or using me. Like there was this one time when my best friend from college got engaged and she was planning this whole weekend celebration thing. Trevor surprised me with this romantic getaway the exact same weekend. I ended up missing my friend's engagement party, and she was really hurt. We drifted apart after that. Now I realize that was the whole point. He did stuff like that all the time. Things got worse slowly. He started checking my phone when I was in the shower. He'd accuse me of cheating if I was even 10 minutes late getting home from work. I'm an elementary school teacher now, which I actually love, even though it doesn't pay great. I have to live with a roommate in this tiny apartment, but it's still better than living with him. The worst was when he would get angry and break my things. There was this memory box my grandfather gave me before he died that had all these little mementos and notes. Trevor threw it against the wall during a fight because I had disrespected him by talking to a male coworker at a school event. I still get sick thinking about picking up the pieces. And yeah, it eventually got physical. Not like every day or anything, but he'd stand over me when we argued to intimidate me. He'd punch walls right by my head. And there were 3 really bad incidents that I don't want to get into right now, but they were the reason I finally left. When I finally got out, with the help of my brother Scott, who literally drove through the night to help me move when Trevor was on a business trip, I told my family everything. And that's where things got complicated. My mom, Marlene, female, 58, has never fully believed me. She's always making comments like, well, there are 2 sides to every story, or Trevor was always such a gentleman around us. My dad, George, female, 60, just kind of exists in conflicts. He doesn't say much either way. My siblings are mixed. Scott, male, 32, has been amazing, but he lives across the country, so it's mostly phone support. My sister, Sue, female, 25, didn't believe me at first, but changed her tune after I showed her some of the texts he sent me. And my little brother, Randy, male, 23, believed me right away, but he still lives at home with my parents, so it's awkward for him. Last Christmas, I just couldn't. I told everyone I couldn't get time off work, which was a lie. I just couldn't handle seeing everyone. My childhood cat Whiskers actually died last year while I was avoiding going home, and I still feel horrible about that. She was 17 and had been my buddy since I was 10. I should have been there. Anyway, this year, my mom has been calling me nonstop for months about coming home. After like the 20th call, I finally gave in and agreed to come for 3 days around Christmas. Last week, my mom called to finalize plans, and the conversation was weird. She asked if I needed to bring anything for dinner, then asked if I was bringing anyone special with me. She always does this. When I said I wasn't dating anyone seriously yet, she sighed dramatically and told me I can't let one bad relationship ruin love forever. I tried to explain again that Trevor wasn't just bad. He was abusive, but she just changed the subject to my brother's new girlfriend. She always does this when I bring up the abuse. Then she mentioned she's invited a few extra people to make the holiday special. When I asked who, she got all vague and just said family friends and changed the subject again. Today, I made the 3-hour drive back to my hometown, and I had to stop at a gas station halfway there because I was having a full-on panic attack in my car, like hyperventilating, the whole thing. Part of me wanted to turn around and just go back to my apartment. But another part really missed my family despite everything. I kept telling myself I was overreacting and everything would be fine. I got to my parents' house about an hour ago. There are like 4 to 5 cars in the driveway that I don't recognize, which is weird because we normally do the big family gathering on Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve. And then I saw it. There's this dark blue Audi parked at the end of the driveway. Trevor drives a dark blue Audi. I mean, it's probably not his. That would be insane, right? There must be thousands of dark blue Audis in the world. But my stomach dropped when I saw it. I'm sitting in my car writing this because I'm too scared to go inside. What if it is his car? What if my mom invited him? She's always talking about how forgiving is important at Christmas. I can hear people laughing inside. I should just go in. It's probably nothing, but my hands won't stop shaking. Edit. Thanks to everyone asking if I'm okay. I'm going to go inside now. We'll update when I can. Edit 2. To answer a few common questions. Yes, I've been in therapy for the past year and a half. My therapist suggested I set a time limit for this visit. That's why I'm only staying 3 days. And no, I haven't dated anyone serious since Trevor. A couple first dates, but nothing that stuck. It's hard to trust people after what happened. Now for the first update. Okay, so I'm typing this from the bathroom at my parents' house because I literally can't be out there right now. I'm shaking so bad I can barely type this, but I need to get this out. So after sitting in my car for like 20 minutes having a complete meltdown yesterday, thanks to everyone who commented on my last post with support, by the way, I finally got the courage to go inside. And guys, it was Trevor's car. My mom actually invited my abusive ex to Christmas. I still can't believe this is happening. When I walked in the front door with my overnight bag and the presents I brought, I heard his laugh immediately. You know how you just know someone's laugh even after not hearing it for years? My whole body just froze, like literally couldn't move. I seriously considered just turning around and running back to my car, but before I could, my sister Sue saw me and rushed over. She hugged me and told me she had no idea he would be there and was sorry. At least someone in my family has my back, kind of. I was just standing there in the entryway like an idiot when my mom came out of the kitchen, all casual. Like I was finally here. She was wearing that stupid Christmas apron I made her in home ec class when I was like 12, the one with the lopsided reindeer that she always makes a big deal about saving. That somehow made it so much worse. Like she's pretending to be this sentimental mom while literally inviting my abuser to Christmas. I was still kind of in shock when I walked into the living room, and there he was, Trevor, sitting on my family's couch like he belonged there, talking to my dad and my little brother Randy like everything was normal. He was wearing this new expensive watch that he kept playing with, probably trying to make sure everyone noticed it. He looked exactly the same except his hair is a little shorter. When he saw me, he stood up and gave me this practiced smile that made me want to throw up. He said hi and called me Di, like we're friends who just lost touch or something. Not like he's the person who threatened to kill my cat if I ever left him, which I didn't mention in my last post, but yeah, that happened. My heart was racing so fast, I thought I might pass out. My ears were ringing and I was suddenly sweating even though the house was cold. I think I just nodded or something and mumbled about putting my bags away. I basically ran to my old bedroom. As soon as I got there, I texted my therapist. Thank God she said she'd be available over the holidays. She reminded me about those grounding techniques we've been working on and told me I could leave if I needed to. I seriously considered it. My old bedroom still has those glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling that I put up when I was like 9. Trevor used to make fun of me for keeping them. He would ask if I wasn't too old for that childish stuff. I remember when I told him the story about how my grandpa helped me put them up before he died, and Trevor just rolled his eyes and said, it was weird. After like 15 minutes of hiding, I knew I had to go back downstairs or my mom would come looking for me. And guess what? At dinner, she had placed Trevor right next to me. Like, are you kidding me right now? The whole dinner was excruciating. Trevor kept bragging about his new promotion at work. My mom was practically falling over herself, saying how wonderful it was that Trevor had done so well. Sue kept giving me these concerned looks across the table. At least someone noticed I was dying inside. Trevor accidentally brushed against my arm while reaching for the salt, and I literally flinched so hard I almost knocked over my water glass. My dad actually looked up when that happened. like he finally noticed something was wrong. But then Trevor smoothly said I was always jumpy because I hated horror movies. Like, that's the reason I'm flinching when he touches me. And my mom laughed and brought up how I had to sleep with the lights on after watching scary movies. Thanks, Mom. Really helpful. I couldn't eat a single bite. I just moved food around on my plate, hoping no one would notice. Scott, my oldest brother, finally asked me about my new teaching job, which gave me like 2 minutes of not having to think about Trevor being there. But then Trevor interrupted, saying he always encouraged my teaching when actually he told me teaching was a waste of time and I'd never make enough money to be independent, which was the point for him, I guess. After dinner, I finally got my mom alone in the kitchen and asked her what the hell she was thinking inviting Trevor. She told me it's Christmas and Trevor has always been like family to them. She said it's been 2 years and thought I'd be over it by now. Over it. Over it. How do you get over someone who isolated you from your friends, broke your things when he was angry, and physically hurt you? Then she had the nerve to tell me he's been having a hard time since I left and still asks about me. That's when I realized she wasn't just being oblivious. She admitted she was hoping we might reconnect because I'm not getting any younger, and good men like Trevor don't come along every day. A good man. She called him a good man. I honestly don't even know who my mother is anymore. The worst part, for like a split second, I actually considered just pretending everything was fine to make Christmas peaceful. That's how messed up he made me. I'm still trying to please everyone, even when they're hurting me. The rest of the evening, more family showed up for dessert, and I tried to avoid Trevor while he charmed everyone. My aunt kept saying how handsome he still is, and my uncle was talking to him about investments or something. Then he cornered me in the hallway on my way to the bathroom. He touched my hair. I wanted to scream, and told me I looked good, that he missed me, and that my mom thinks we should talk about giving things another chance. I pushed past him and locked myself in the bathroom and texted Scott, who's arriving this morning. I begged him to get here as early as possible. This morning was even worse somehow. I got up super early, hoping to avoid everyone, but Trevor was already in the kitchen. He offered to make me coffee just how you like it, which he never actually knew. He always made it too sweet because he didn't listen when I told him how I preferred it. I said I could make my own coffee, and my mom walks in and tells me I could be a little more gracious. Gracious to my abuser. Scott finally arrived with his wife and immediately knew something was wrong. Trevor tried to act all buddy-buddy with him, but Scott just gave him this cold look. Sue and Randy basically formed a protective circle around me, which helped a little, but then my mom announced it was time for brunch and the gift exchange. That's when I saw it. There was a small wrapped box under the tree with my name on it. From Trevor, I almost threw up right there. Everyone's in the living room now doing gifts. Trevor sat next to me on the couch, and when no one was looking, he put his hand on my knee and squeezed. I can't. I'm hiding in the bathroom again typing this, but I have to go back out there. But something in me just broke. I'm done pretending. I'm done protecting everyone's feelings except my own. I'm going to go back out there and tell them everything. All of it. In front of everyone. I don't care if it ruins Christmas anymore. Edit, to those asking if I'm safe, physically, yes. I'm in the bathroom with the door locked. My brother Scott is here now, and he's 6'4" and knows everything Trevor did to me. I'm scared, but not in immediate danger. Edit 2. For everyone suggesting I just leave, I've thought about it. But if I leave without saying anything, my mom will just spin it as me being dramatic, her favorite word for me. Trevor will keep his perfect image with my family. I'm tired of carrying this alone. Edit 3. A lot of you are asking why I didn't warn my family he might show up. I never thought my mom would do this. Never. She knows what he did to me, even if she doesn't fully believe it. This blindsided me completely. Now for the second update. So, a lot has happened since my last post. I'm writing this from a hotel room because, I couldn't stay at my parents' house after everything that went down. First, thank you to everyone who commented on my last post. Your support honestly helped me find the courage to do what I needed to do. Several of you told me to just leave, and looking back, maybe that would have been smarter, but I just couldn't let Trevor keep manipulating my family anymore. So after I posted last, I took a few deep breaths and went back out to the living room where everyone was exchanging gifts. I was literally shaking, but also felt this weird calm, like when you know you're about to do something that will change everything, and there's no going back. Everyone was sitting around the tree. Trevor was still sitting way too close to me on the couch with that smug look on his face. My mom was playing the perfect hostess, handing out presents with this fake, cheerful voice. My aunt and uncle were there, plus a couple of my mom's friends from church who I barely know. Why were they even there? I stood up suddenly, like I didn't even plan it. My body just kind of got up. Everyone looked at me and the room got quiet. I started talking and my voice was shaking so bad at first that I could barely get the words out. But then it got stronger. I told them everything. Everything. Not just the "he was mean to me sometimes" version my mom probably told everyone. The real version. I told them how he isolated me from all my friends, how he would check my phone when I was in the shower, how he would punish me with the silent treatment for days if I talked to a male coworker, how he convinced me my best friend from college was toxic, so I would stop hanging out with her. I told them about my grandmother's necklace that he claimed I lost, but actually he took it and probably sold it because I had worn it to a work function without asking permission first. My grandmother gave me that necklace before she died, and it was literally the only thing I had from her. I told them about the time he shoved me so hard against the bathroom door that I cracked a rib. I told everyone in that room how I lied and said I fell while jogging because I was so ashamed. I was staring right at my mom when I said that part because she drove me to the urgent care. She knew something was off about that story. I told them about the night after my school's holiday party when he strangled me until I almost passed out because I had laughed at my male coworker's joke. How I could feel my pulse in my eyeballs and thought I was going to die on our bedroom floor. And I told them how he threatened to kill my childhood cat if I ever told anyone what was happening or tried to leave him. The whole time I was talking, you could have heard a pin drop. My aunt kept adjusting her glasses nervously like she does when she's uncomfortable. The ice in my uncle's whiskey glass was the only sound besides my voice. It kept clinking against the side, and for some reason that sound is stuck in my head now. My mom tried to interrupt me like 3 times, saying stuff like, "Diana, this isn't the time, and you're ruining Christmas for everyone." But I just kept talking. I couldn't stop. It was like everything I'd been holding in for years just came pouring out. I watched Trevor's face change while I was talking. At first, he had this confident smirk, like he thought I wouldn't actually say anything. Then his jaw got tight, and his eyes got that cold look I remember so well, the one that always came before the worst nights. When I finally stopped talking, no one said anything for what felt like forever. I was breathing hard and realized I was crying, but hadn't even noticed when I started. Trevor broke the silence with this dismissive laugh and said, "Wow, still with the dramatic exaggerations. Like everything I just said was some funny story I made up." My mom, of course, quickly jumped in saying, "Diana has always had an active imagination, even as a little girl." I could not believe she was still defending him. But then something happened that I didn't expect. Sue stood up and said, "No, I've seen the text messages he sent her." She was talking about those threatening texts I showed her that finally made her believe me. Trevor's whole face changed, and he said those were taken out of context, his favorite excuse for everything. Scott stepped between me and Trevor, saying, "I think you should leave. Thank God for my brother, seriously." Trevor actually turned to my mom and said, "Are you going to let them talk to me like this?" Like she was going to pick him over her own kids. My mom hesitated. She actually hesitated. She kept looking back and forth between Trevor and us like she couldn't decide. That's when I said, "If he stays, I'm leaving. I will not spend Christmas with my abuser." I said it loud enough that I'm pretty sure the neighbors heard. Randy, my little brother who still lives at home and usually stays quiet during family drama, suddenly said, "And I'll go with her." I almost started crying again when he said that. Finally, my dad spoke up. He's always so quiet during conflicts that sometimes I forget he's even there. But he looked right at Trevor and said, "I think it's best if you go." Trevor got up and deliberately knocked over his glass on the way out. Water went everywhere, including all over the presents. At the door, he hissed, "You'll regret this," right in my ear. Classic Trevor threat. The worst part, my mom followed him outside to apologize to him. Not to me, to him. I couldn't stay there after that. Scott and Sue tried to convince me to stay, saying we could still salvage Christmas. But how could I stay in that house knowing my mom was outside comforting my abuser? I grabbed my overnight bag, I hadn't even unpacked yet, and left. I didn't even take my Christmas gifts. I just needed to get out of there. I turned off my phone, took one of the sleeping pills my therapist prescribed for emergencies, and basically passed out for like 12 hours straight. When I woke up late on the 26th and turned my phone back on, I was bombarded with notifications. 36 missed calls, 14 from Scott, 9 from Sue, 7 from Randy, 5 from my dad, and just 1 from my mom. Tells you everything you need to know. Plus like a million texts and voicemails. From what I've pieced together, this is what happened after I left. Scott confronted my mom about inviting Trevor without warning me. She finally admitted she'd been in regular contact with him for months. Like they've been having coffee, and she's been updating him about my life. I feel so violated. Sue told everyone she found my medical records from that jogging accident in my old desk when she was looking for something else a while back. She said she didn't connect the dots until yesterday. Randy confessed that he once witnessed Trevor intimidating me in the kitchen when they thought no one was home, but he was like 16 at the time and didn't understand what he was seeing. He thought it was just a regular argument. My dad apparently finally lost his temper, which never happens, and yelled at my mom, saying our daughter could have been killed and you invited him to Christmas dinner. All 3 of my siblings packed up and left Christmas dinner after that. They just walked out and left my mom with my aunt, uncle, and her church friends. Can you imagine how embarrassing that must have been for her? Good. Trevor apparently has been calling and texting my mom nonstop, alternating between apologizing and making threats. Classic abuser behavior. My dad ended up calling his friend who's a police officer to ask for advice about the situation. I don't know what came of that yet. Later yesterday, my siblings all showed up at my hotel room together. They brought my Christmas gifts and leftover food, although I'm still not really eating much. Scott told me he contacted Trevor's current employer with evidence of his abuse. Sue said she already blocked my mom on social media after she made some tone-deaf post about problems during the holidays. And Randy told me he's moved his stuff to his friend's house and is refusing to live with my mom until she acknowledges what she did. My dad called separately and apologized for being passive for so many years. He promised he's going to start therapy both individually and with my mom. I want to believe him, but we'll see if anything actually changes. What's really wild is that my mom's carefully constructed image of the perfect family has fallen apart. Multiple relatives have reached out directly to me to offer support and express shock at what my mom did. My aunt, mom's sister, called to tell me she believes me and is disgusted with my mom's behavior. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm devastated that Christmas turned into such a disaster, but there's also this strange sense of relief that everything is finally out in the open. No more secrets, no more pretending. I'm definitely not ready to forgive my mom. What she did was a betrayal I never saw coming. Thanks for all the support, and I hope this helps at least one person feel a bit better.